Good evening, everyone. This is the September 27, 2023 meeting of the Auburn Conservation Commission. This open meeting is being operated as a hybrid format under Chapter 22 of the Acts of 2022. The public can join the meeting remotely by telephone by dialing 408-650-3123 and then using access code 942-845-549, or the public can join via computer at global.gotomeeting.com/join/942-845-549. So the materials for tonight's meeting have been provided to the commissioners, and they're available on the town's website. Public is encouraged to follow along using the posted agenda. My name is Michael Garland. I'm chairman of the Conservation Commission. And before we start, let me take a roll call of our members. So when I call your name, please respond in the affirmative. Michelle Kollross.
Here.
Megan Langley.
Here.
Catherine Nordberg.
Here.
Chris Carey.
Here.
Jesse Averka.
Here.
All right. Please note this meeting is being recorded by Auburn Cable Television. And having said that, let's proceed. The first item on tonight's agenda is a 7 p.m. public hearing. Stephen Gigante, it's a determination of applicability for property at 25 Shore Drive to install a natural gas plastic pipe in the existing paved roadway using the open trench method. Is there a motion to open?
So moved.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Is there any discussion? There being none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed?
Aye.
Thank you. It's a vote. All right, Mr. Gigante,
Yes, sir.
come on up, sir. Why don't you have a seat? So this matter was on our agenda for the last meeting, and what had been submitted to us was not a particularly good rendition of Shore Drive and what you were proposing to do. It appears, I presume, you produced a color picture, which frankly is not much better. I mean, it does show certain boundaries. The FEMA 100-year floodplain. There appears to have been an attempt made to measure the 100-foot buffer to the BVW. It also shows yellow lines, which, according to this drawing, are supposed to be, I guess, erosion controls, and then the plastic water main. Can you tell us exactly? I'm sorry, it's not a water main, natural gas pipeline. Can you tell? You're tying into a natural gas line in the street?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And who's going to do the work for you?
Eversource.
Okay. And when do they propose to do it?
They're waiting on this meeting here to get approved so I could so they can make a date to put that in.
Okay. Who's going to install the erosion control measures?
I'm sorry.
Well, on the plan it shows that there are erosion controls that are going to be installed, I presume, while the pipeline is being installed. Do you know if they're going to do that?
I'm not sure.
All right.
That would be up to the gas company.
All right. Okay. Well, I guess I would like some clarification on that. Bear with me for 1 second here. Have they given you any idea how long it's going to take?
I'm guessing a day to put this in.
Okay.
I do believe it, not to through the chair, if you look at on the old map that was submitted for the last meeting,
Mhm.
and if you look on the TV now, I believe it details somewhere in here the amount of time that it's going to take, and I think it's a max of 1 or 2 days, but I don't want to quote that without.
Understood.
Best management, hold on, before you go,
Oh, yeah.
potential impacts of resources, good, will be excavations, village plan.
Yeah, the work
Yeah,
is
right
limited
there.
to that which can be completed and restored within a day. Yeah, so under
Okay,
that, and then
right there.
erosion control barriers will be placed.
All of those answers.
Yada yada.
All right.
No soil will be stockpiled overnight within the buffer zones.
So it says here, your understanding is that after they dig the trench and install in the natural gas pipeline, they'll backfill it. It does say here that any remaining excavated material would be your responsibility to remove. You see that, right?
Yes.
What would you do with that?
Well, I would, if it's clean fill,
Mhm.
which it should be,
Right?
I'll just spread it in the, I'll spread it on the front lawn.
Okay. And if the legend for this map is accurate, it looks like the pipe is about 50 feet long. Is that about right?
I would, yeah, roughly.
Okay, because if you look at the legend on the bottom, it gives us, basically looks like it's 20, it's a 20 scale.
Yeah,
Okay.
of
And
I
it
don't
appears, I'm just doing a very rough calculation, it looks like it would be about a little over 40 feet long.
That's okay.
So I'm thinking around 50.
Yeah,
Okay, all right. I have no other questions.
I
Michelle?
do.
Sure, go ahead.
It does look like that gas line is going into the road, which I'm assuming it's gonna have to happen if it's tying in. So I don't think all of it's going to be clean. I think that some of it's going to be tar, right?
oh, yes, I'm sure the gas company will take that away.
They're taking that away? Because that's not what it's saying, right? I need to read it. I'm not seeing that.
No, it says here, upon completion of the job, any previously paved areas within the public way will be repaved.
Okay, good. But what does it say about taking the stuff away?
What they'll do, this, as I understand this, they will refill the trench with the excavated material, and then anything that is left over is Mr. Gigante's responsibility to remove or, and so I think that's a fair question. Obviously, if it's contaminated material, it's not something that you want to use.
Correct, correct. I mean, in the past, I have worked for a company that we used to install gas lines down the main road and into residential and commercial businesses.
Okay.
That material is excavated, put in a dump truck, and
Take it away.
take it away.
Okay, all right. I'm just not reading it.
Right, and
Okay,
whatever
I don't
fill,
either.
whatever fill they need, if they need sand, they'll bring in sand from,
Yeah, that's fine.
and then anything else will be backfilled and whatever else will be hauled away.
This is a side issue, but to your knowledge, will they also be responsible for traffic control? I mean, assuming this is a one-day job.
I'm assuming what the gas company, I'm not sure what the gas company really does,
Uh-huh.
and,
I mean, you don't want,
I'm guessing the gas company's gonna call for a police detail. Because that is a new gas line going down that street
okay,
that was put in last year.
gotcha, all right. I think at least one other, the neighbors tied in, right?
Yeah, so I believe it was 73 Shore Drive that submitted, basically the same thing, open trench method. I think they were basically there are only a few residents on that street that were left, not tied in when they did the initial, the whole new line down the road.
Right,
And so now it's just kind of the stragglers submitting, these RDAs and trying to
understood,
get approved to get tied in.
okay.
And I know they did pull they had been in talks with DPW and Joanna as well when that project initially took place. So, I mean, like Steven, I'm kind of assuming that they know what they're doing and that they would, get a police detail and, make sure that they're not causing any major traffic hazards.
Well, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, do you have the name of a contact at Eversource?
Yes, Patricia, I don't have my phone, I didn't bring it with me.
Okay, all right. So basically, assuming, we issue a negative determination, you would call her up and just say that the project's a go?
Yes, well, Jesse here, they sent I believe you sent a letter to the gas company saying that it was all set. Or it's rejected.
We've been in contact as far as like they provided me with the new color map.
Okay,
I reached out to them and let them know that what they had provided prior was not sufficient.
okay, all right, so that you got directly from Eversource?
Yes, exactly.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
All right.
Quick question.
Please, go ahead.
Do we have elevation map for this area property on hand by any chance?
This is all that I have.
Okay. I was just wondering if we think that just the two kind of columns of erosion control is sufficient, depending on like the elevation topography. If like the road slants a certain way or
No, it's
the
a valid
property
question.
slants a certain way, that runoff might be a concern
Mhm.
from the road to the wetland area. Especially if they're gonna be lifting up, pavement for that.
Can you pull this up on like an aerial? I couldn't go last weekend. I was busy both days, so. Actually, I wasn't even here both days
Yeah,
in the state.
yeah, fair enough. No, it's fine. I'm not really sure if I'd be able to.
Yeah,
Does
can we go?
Google Maps have
I was just gonna say, like a
elevation
Google-
Oh,
Is it?
absolutely.
relief
Oh, okay.
setting?
Let's see what Google shows.
I'm assuming that
I
the
don't-
gas line is going to the front of the house. That's where,
Right. I just want to see the front of it. Like, just see it, because
Yeah.
this is,
My thought is just like if the two lines of erosion control on either side of where they're going to be digging,
Okay.
if there's like if it slants a particular way, if just those two rows of erosion control might not be enough to catch everything.
okay.
And see
Sweet.
if. Not sure how to pop that up, but maybe we'll get lucky here.
or street, either or.
Yeah, you should be able to do that.
I wouldn't be able to. Just gonna throw that out there to you.
Okay.
Learning some new technique. Oh, there we go.
There you go.
It's got to be one of those, right?
The trees look so lifelike, don't they?
Mhm.
I know.
I thought you had it.
Excellent.
Terrain.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
looks like it.
Yeah. That's a ticket.
Not really. Yeah, because that, and it says view topography and elevation.
It's not
Not really
really
doing
doing
very
much.
much,
No.
no.
All right.
Wow, it really is flat.
I mean, okay.
We'll go with that.
Total one
If you guys are all set with that, I'm good.
I feel like I might say that.
Let's go back to the street view for a minute.
Yeah, sure. What's
Isn't it that other
If I
one
just
with the little
unclick
guy?
that.
Yeah, the middle down
Bottom.
rows in the middle.
Oh, this
Don't
one?
you let us help you? Don't you love us helping you?
I can use it. I'm not.
You had a street view initially.
Or on the left column on the bottom. Would that be
Yeah, that's
street view?
Can you make that bigger? Am I asking too much?
Oh, look
Ah, look at you.
There we go.
No, yeah. Get it? So,
Yeah, so.
Mr. Gigani, where's your house?
Spin it.
Yep.
Keep on spinning.
Whee!
Over on this
That
side.
right?
Yep, it's on, yep. Next to that house right there to the, well, if you're looking at to the left, the yellow house.
This one right
Is
here.
that-
Yep, that one right there.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh, actually,
Very
so
odd.
you're actually set back quite a distance.
Yeah.
That looks more than
But it looks
50
flat.
feet.
Very flat though, yeah.
It is flat.
That does answer my question.
But with the pipelines going, it could be the 50 feet.
Understood.
Okay, it's flat.
It's flat.
Okay. Any other questions?
Nope.
Any questions from the audience?
Nope, I pulled it up
I'm
on
sorry,
Google
Megan,
Maps
I
too.
didn't- Oh, hello, Megan. Do you have any questions?
Nope,
Okay. There being none, is there a motion to close
I moved to close the meeting,
the public hearing?
the public hearing. We're at
Yeah,
25
we're
Wood
not
Drive.
going to
Yeah.
adjourn quite yet.
Yeah.
Is there a second?
A second.
Okay, any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed?
I,
It's a vote. All right, Mr. Gigani, we will most likely render a decision this evening and we will be in touch.
Okay,
All right, so thanks for coming in. We appreciate it.
no, not a problem.
Okay. The next item on our agenda is Andrew Mallett, a notice of intent for property at 7 Marion Avenue to install a pipe for new water service. Is there a motion to open?
So moved.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed?
Aye.
It's a vote. All right. Mr. Mallard?
Yes.
Hi, come on up. So we got your application for the notice of intent. And a few things. It's incomplete. There is the fee schedule is not completed. There's no indication that abutters were notified. And the drawing you submitted won't cut it. It's got to be a plan. It needs to have, it's, with a notice of intent, we need elevations, we need specific distances, and so what was submitted just is not something that we can act on. So my suggestion would be that, and especially especially the notice to abutters and getting those cards back and filling out the fee schedule. When people file with us, not only is that information filled out, but we're also provided with copies of the checks that are sent and that sort of thing. And so we can't act on it because it's not a complete filing. It's my understanding that DEP hasn't issued a file number, and I think they have the same issues, that their view is that it was an incomplete application. So my suggestion would be to continue the public hearing to our next meeting, which is going to be, I think, on October 11th. And, to the extent that you need to complete or get additional information, provide that information to us. But I think filling out the fee schedule and getting us the list of abutters and notification of abutters is, it shouldn't take you that long. The real thing that you have to do is provide us with an engineer plan.
The notice of abutters I gave.
Yes, I do. I have the green cards.
Okay. All right.
Yes, as far
And
as
the check.
Yeah, so I have the check. So I think we will have to rework that a little bit to include the fee for the state in order to have them issue that DEP number. But that's certainly something that I'm happy to, work with you on, and I can talk to you about that tomorrow.
So do we have your permission to continue this to October 11th?
If it's a must, I mean, her water service is in rough shape, and the water department told her that she, they wouldn't even replace her meter because the piping it's really frail and fragile. So
Right.
hopefully in the meantime, her plumbing doesn't burst in her basement.
Well, sir, I hope so too. But I mean, we can't act on this, and we couldn't, even if we were inclined to take it up, we couldn't issue any sort of decision because there's no DEP file number. So I'm confident that you'll be able to get the remaining information so that on October 11th, we can consider this and close the public hearing at that time.
Okay.
Okay? All right. So thank you for coming in.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Andrew. I'll talk to you tomorrow.
Okay, thank you.
Do we have anything scheduled for October 11th? Right now?
We have one new NOI, yes.
At 7?
Depending on what happens with Stevens RDA, it would be, well, actually, no, this would take over as the 7 because this is already on the agenda.
Okay, so in other words, Marion would be the 7 o'clock hearing?
Yes,
Okay,
it would be.
in that case, can I have a motion to continue the public hearing for 7 Marion Avenue to October 11th at 7 PM?
A motion to continue 7 Marion Avenue to 7 PM on October 11th.
Is there a second?
I second the motion to continue to October 11th. So,
Is there any discussion? There being none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Megan?
Yes, aye.
Okay. All right, it's a vote. Okay, and I see that Mr. Gravoski is here.
thank you, sir.
So, for other business, this would be the certificate of compliance for 54 Prospect Street.
Mr. Quinn is here also.
Yes, before Mr. Quinn, he was here the last time.
Mr. Chairman, Kevin Quinn,
Yes, sir.
Quinn Engineering. I was here on the 17th,
13th.
13th. Okay, we submitted the
Yes.
plan. Members had some comments about the plan.
Right,
Some of them pertain to the restoration, wetland restoration. So I brought along Mr. Kravosky to
I
answer.
brought you along, actually.
He brought me along.
someone brought someone,
Someone-
I think we've established that.
Yes. To answer questions the board members may have about the wetland restoration work and
Well,
the status of that.
my question is, why was the work not done in compliance with the plan that was submitted to us originally that we approved?
Looking at mirror here.
It's, no, it's,
You-
that's definitely a Kowalski
I was just gonna say, I think that's all you, Glenn.
Anyone,
Through the chairman,
anyone can jump
through
in.
the chairman,
Yes, sir.
are you describing the wetland work? Are you describing the asphalt and the pipe not being two pipes and the asphalt being more than it was supposed to be?
Yes.
It has nothing to do with like Ross.
No, so I think, in all fairness, and not to make light of it, the pipe issue is certainly, I think, a pet peeve of ours. But I would like you to address the issue of the wetlands. And don't get me wrong, if the wetlands that were installed are more than what was originally proposed, I see that as being a good thing,
Yes, sir.
you know? Do you have any knowledge, though, about why there was only one culvert installed instead of two? Either
I
way.
don't think the contractor was paying attention.
I actually, I have an answer to that too. He said to us, I didn't look at the plan.
Swell.
Swell. And that's why we asked Mr. Quinn to come, because Mr. Quinn might be able to give you the calculations for the volume on a 25-year storm event. There are no wetlands upgraded. So this was clearly to just pass rainwater. Instead of going over the driveway, we would have it go under the driveway.
Mhm.
It has been handling all the storm events that, the subjective term, all, that we have had.
Well, we've
That
had a
would
rainy
be that
summer for sure.
July and very heavy rains in July. Nothing's gone over.
Uh-huh.
Mr. Quinn did come in that the volume of that one pipe is sufficient underneath DOT, right? Or
Well, no, yeah.
Water regs?
Right, if you treat that as a 10-year storm, under DOT, catch basin lines are designed for a 10-year storm, cross lines are 25. So treating that as a 10-year storm, the 1 8-inch has sufficient capacity to pass the flow.
How about a 25-year?
I didn't test for that.
All right.
But our original plan, we just had a driveway, and if water passed over the driveway on occasion during major storm events, that happens.
Right.
What's happened? If I could. to the
Please,
chair.
go ahead.
Then there's the swale below it. And the point that swale has taken the volume, I could have a little bit more rock in that swale, just rock size, so that to ensure that it stays stable, that isn't just dirt near the surface. So when it runs through that narrow swale, I could propose to put more, say, 2-inch rock size, because that's basically what's
Sure.
not moved, 3-inch rock. Probably river rock, so it looks natural and not crushed stone, but just to make sure that that channel stays stable.
Okay.
Because where there is
That's why I
rock,
was questioning the swale. So
Okay.
that's why you put that in, was to make sure that everything stayed stable and
Yeah,
fine.
and
and
that's
didn't
what the
go into
commission
that-
would want, because-
Okay, all right.
right.
Okay,
if I could
perfect.
please.
Yeah.
So in the wetland issue, if I could, we took the chip off soon enough that most of the wetland plants came back. And then we also planted the wetland. I'd say that I also talked to the contractor about the buffer zone and the planting with the pines. If I was to make any suggestion, if the commission so wanted it, we could put some type of monuments just along, potentially to say, don't go into this area, because I don't think you've asked for that. That's one way to protect this other 25-foot zone.
Okay.
So a little bit more stability to the channel, which is very, we're only talking 3 5-gallon buckets, 4 or 5-gallon buckets. That's a very small item to make sure it's stable. And then potentially just a little, if you wanted some bollards or something like that, to make sure nobody goes into that, because it is a 25-foot no disturbance zone. It is green compared to the photo I gave you. Somebody did weed whack. I saw a couple of the red maples we put in there were weed whacked, but they were still living there, coming back. And I told the client, nobody's to go into that 25-foot zone. Let it grow. It's going to be the pines, that white ash, some red maple in there. There's a speckled alder in there. It'll grow back into that shrub area, because that's what you want your buffer zone, to make sure people stay out of there and don't come into that wetland issue. So a little bit of work, if that is what the commission wants, this is called minor, and we would take it on if that was the question in the end.
So how was the wetland responded to all the rain we've had?
Oh, the wetland, this was a marginal wetland. This is the very headwater of a wetland system, right where the groundwater starts coming out.
Mhm.
And so if we take a look at the photos, so you have that buffer that's adjacent to the driveway going down gradient, a grass strip, the 25-foot buffer, then the wetland. The wetland has come back very well. The plants that he cut off in the wetland, we never took the roots out, they're coming back, and we beefed it up with some winterberry, common winterberry, high bush blueberry, a few more red maples. That's the thicker area if you're looking in there. I was there Saturday. I was hoping to be able to go over this with you personally,
Sorry.
but you guys were probably busy on other site inspections.
Busy. No, I wasn't
I
here.
waited till 9:35. But anyways, I did want to run over that little stuff so that we could be prepared here, and if you said, oh, I want this little bit, we would have just done that little bit then to maybe get this off your agenda.
Are you available this weekend?
I am.
Okay.
Well, can I just say that we're
Do you have a
doing?
question or you're
Yes,
just
sir.
stretching?
I have a question.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Do you think that there's gonna be any issue with snow if they stack snow around that with the melt off later on? If that's gonna be an
Mr.
issue?
Quinn might also
or-
say this, that most clients that I have, they don't, if you put a condition in there with no salt, but I'm not worried about snow and because we do have the upland area, it does have that swale, and snow can go into the upland swale that he built.
You have a vegetated buffer also.
We have a
There's a
vegetated
vegetated
Okay, so
buffer,
that should
So
be
the
fine.
snow would be in the
be in a
vegetated buffer.
vegetated buffer, and I was just
Any of
thinking
that
about the
goes
salt
on.
issue
Okay.
that you
Right.
might have, but most clients that I have don't
Yeah.
use salt.
I don't use salt on my driveway.
I don't use it on mine, but if there was a condition of salt getting into the well, we'll take a condition, perpetuity
think-
condition?
Yeah, I mean, so why don't we do this? I would like to take a look at it because I haven't been able to get out there.
Okay,
And, I mean, I think what you're proposing, I think is reasonable. And, again, I'm speaking for myself.
Yes, sir.
And we can certainly, I would kick this over to our, the agenda for the next meeting. But, maybe the way to, issue the certificate of compliance is for you to send a letter in
yes,
which you indicate the, you know,
these two, couple,
the changes that you're proposing.
will be done,
Yeah, well, let's, again, let's, I don't want to get ahead of,
we'll take a look at it.
so let's take a look at it, and then I think we can probably get this resolved at the next meeting.
Thank you, sir.
All right.
Thank you. Mr.
And what will be a good time for you on Saturday, 9 o'clock?
Yes, sir.
Perfect, all right.
Very good.
Thank you,
Right.
thank you, Ian. Thank you,
Right now.
thank you, Mr. Quinn, always. Have a good evening. Yes, my eyeglass case, I'm not gonna leave another one here with you.
Do you want the other one back?
I had a nice one now, but it's a
yeah.
Jaguar case.
Yeah,
You want, you pick up.
It looks pretty flashy sitting on my desk. I don't know. If you got a new one.
That was actually from Germany, that's called Jaguar. There's a Jaguar eyeglass case. I got it at an antique place.
Yeah, how was Greece? You diving?
Reese was,
Oh, don't even tell me you had a good dive there.
are you kidding me?
I don't even want to hear it,
Please, if you
dude.
write anything down, out of the blue on Crete, look it up. It's a place to go. I've told all my clients, one time in the, out of the blue.
Okay, I'll
Take a
go
look at
there,
it.
I'll go dive there.
Noted.
Palatial, I'm talking, and the price was, you're right there on the Mediterranean, two big bays, everything you want to do, not in the city, gorgeous.
All right,
That's going into the
I'm
minutes word
jealous.
for word.
out of the blue,
Out of the blue.
Palatious.
hellacious.
That's a good word. I'm gonna have to look that up.
Is it a real, or is it like strategery?
W.
Exactly, wouldn't be
I'm
prudent.
writing it down.
So,
Hellacious.
other business, we've received a request for certificate of compliance for 65 Chestnut. And you'll recall that we had been out there previously to look at 63. So, I would, since we're gonna be, at least some of us are gonna be walking around, seeing stuff on Saturday, I thought maybe we could add 65 Chestnut so we can determine whether a certificate of compliance can be issued.
Okay,
Okay, now, I have.
so where are we going first?
Well,
Because
first
I'm
of
gonna
all-
be late, so let's just get that out of the way right now. Okay,
Okay, and if I may inquire why?
because I'm always late on Saturday. It's 9 a.m. on Saturday, Mike.
For most people, several of us have been up for hours by that time.
I don't.
Okay, we're gonna start,
My day off.
we're gonna start, I think with Prospect Street at 9.
All right, Prospect
Because I told
Street at
him we were gonna
9.
be there at 9,
Okay.
and then we could go to
Prospect.
Chestnut Avenue afterwards.
Have they done anything
9 a.m.
at Chestnut since we were
And
there
then
almost
65
a month ago
Chestnut.
now, right?
Right, so instead, they had the vegetable garden, if you recall.
Yes.
This is the house on the other side.
Okay.
So I think it's done. So I think it's just a formality, just to check it out,
Cool.
compare it to the plan. We also, this is interesting, we also got a request, or 2 requests for certificates of compliance from Attorney Chase. One is really old. One goes back to 1986, which is before I was on the board.
Where I was born.
Well, and there you go, and there's that too. So, and then, so
And
there's, that's for 410 Leicester Street. And the other one, I think, is more recent, because I think I was on the board at that time. In fact, I saw my signature on this, back in, in February of 2019. So I think we should also, since they're side by side, we should also add those for our viewing pleasure on Saturday.
Lester, I'm gonna put that third.
410 and 411, yes. Regarding 16 George Street, my understanding is that there's still a pile of wood chips that the owner of 16 George Street is not particularly happy about, and we think Skyhook should go in there and remove it.
Yes, yeah, that makes sense to me.
So,
Yeah.
will they respond to your call, or should we send them a letter?
I think I can just give them a call. When I had spoken to them initially, they said, we're going to go by and take care of it this upcoming weekend. And then I was out there earlier and you can see, like, they did pull it all back, but there is still, right, that's actually so these are the new ones. So they did pull it all back, but you can see that there is still this mound,
He doesn't want it there, and he didn't
Yeah.
ask for it to be there.
Exactly, it's not his
It's a
responsibility
trespass,
to get rid of that.
It
Yeah.
really is. So, okay, all right.
Yeah, so I'll reach out to them and, when I talked to, I don't remember the gentleman's name, but he was very responsive. So I think if I just give him another call, then we can get them out there fairly quickly to remove that.
Okay. And then we had also talked about sending, well, I think we discussed at the last meeting, sending a letter to the owner of 25 Vinyl Street, telling them that they need to file a request for determination of applicability for the work they've done, because they basically, as you know, and if anyone has walked that road, that area, it's near, what school is that?
It's right by the Mary D. Stone. I want to say it's like senior housing over
It's not
there.
Mary D. It's the
Oh,
other
it's
one.
not that one?
JB.
Oh,
Julia
Julia
Bancroft.
Bancroft. That's
Yeah,
what it is. yeah.
Exactly. So, yeah, so what they did is they went ahead, it looks like they cleared out the area in the back, because it's a big back lot, and then they put up erosion control measures, but they didn't do a particularly good job of it, and they should have filed with us in the first place anyway. So I think to my understanding is that after they got our cease and desist, they stopped working.
Yes, they did stop work. Yeah.
So, but I
They
think
haven't filed with us yet?
they didn't file with us.
Okay.
So I think at a minimum, they have to file an RFD, and then let's see what their response is. And then for 282 Southbridge Street, and I want to put a shout out to Megan Langley for sending us the project overview information, Central to Western Mass Energy Improvement Project. Yay!
Yay, Megan. That is much appreciated.
It is appreciated, and what it shows is it actually shows the timber mats that were installed at 282 Southbridge Street. Now, yes, I know.
That was a mystery for the last 5 or 6 meetings.
Now, why National Grid didn't bother to notify us is a question that has not been answered, but at least we know what they're doing. So, I think I am satisfied that now that we know that this is no nefarious activity. Although I don't know what sort of nefarious activity you could conduct with timber mats. Possibly.
I'm sure somebody could think of
Someone
something.
could think of something. That's right. So but I think we have enough information so that I think we can probably just take this off our agenda.
I think so too.
Okay, perfect.
Did you,
Go ahead.
the couple that actually got in touch with us, though, that said these mats are in my front yard, did we send this to them?
They should have gotten it.
They should
don't
have gotten it,
remember
but obviously they
anything.
didn't.
Yeah.
They
Who
said that
was-
they didn't. Didn't you say that when this all came to us,
Mhm.
wasn't it because of somebody complaining that?
It was because of, so it
Timber
was because of, John is the property owner there.
Yeah.
And he was aware that National Grid had an easement there to get to their property. So I'll be notifying him that, we've taken it off our, yeah, exactly. So I sent that to him.
Oh, you
Oh,
did
you
send
did
it to
send
him.
it.
Yeah,
That's
so
the
he
question.
knows that
Okay.
that's what it is.
Okay.
All right.
And I mean, if he sees, I'm not sure how that works legally, because I know Grid, has the authority to,
They have a right, I mean, the easement gives
Exactly.
them rights to basically enter into the land and maintain the utilities.
Yeah.
So they have a right to be there. I think he was, just like we were, kind of bent out of shape because they didn't notify us.
Yeah,
You know?
yes, exactly.
So I think now that he understands what they're doing, hopefully that will address any issues or concerns that he had.
Hmm.
So, okay, we have meeting minutes.
I don't think I had a copy of the minutes.
Oh, I didn't hear, I have them here.
Grab one too, Josh, if you don't mind.
Yeah, of course.
The good news is that there are enough of us to actually approve these.
Good grab.
Amazing.
Amazing.
Amazing. So, I actually have reviewed these, and I had no changes to make.
A motion to accept the September 13th minutes as presented.
A second.
All right, is there any discussion? Well said. All those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? It's a vote. Is there any new business?
I do have a couple. So I was looking to get your opinion on this, Michael, because there was a lawyer that reached out to me
Okay.
representing the applicants for the certificates of compliance for 63 and 65 Chestnut.
Right.
And he was raising issue and saying that the registry would not accept the online signatures, which I don't really understand because we have that whole certificate of vote saying that we authorize that. So
That's never been an issue.
I know, yeah. And it was an issue with, I was going to try to get Tom's signature tonight because when they issued that certificate of compliance for 10 Auburn Hill Road, when you had recused yourself from, I guess Tom's signature that we have on file is
Right.
a little bit like too dark and illegible.
Okay.
So that they were unwilling to accept, which I can understand and I could get hard signatures for that. So that doesn't really present an issue.
Okay.
But I guess as far as 63 and 65 Chestnut, I can just reiterate that it's never been an issue before. And I know that the Worcester Registry has, plenty of things with you guys' signatures on file.
Oh yeah. I mean, that,
Yeah.
I'm surprised. So,
Yeah,
who's the lawyer? Do you remember?
I don't. I mean, I could certainly, if you'd be interested to see, I could forward you the email.
Yeah, please do, because I'll
Yeah.
give him a call.
Yeah,
I'm
okay.
not aware that there's ever. I mean, this is the first I'm
Do
hearing.
you want my signature now?
Oh, if you don't mind, because for the 10 Auburn Hill Road, it was you and Tom and Megan that had passed that. I have it right here. Because with that, it does seem like with Tom's, it is a lot darker than everyone else's. So I think with him being the acting chairman that night,
Shit.
Signed the wrong thing.
if it's,
I signed Tom's line.
I'll go around and get you guys a signature sometime soon. I'm gonna need Tom and Megan's either way, so it's one.
Do you want me
more.
to sign my line now? And I just swore.
I feel like
on television.
they're being so particular about it anyways that you just slap your John Hancock, right?
On mine line?
I'll just do a fresh one because I'm gonna need their signatures either way. And if they're being that particular where they won't take Tom's in the first place, then probably just want to do a fresh one.
Okay,
That's okay though.
just do it again.
Yeah, we'll just do it again. That was
Okay,
a
we'll just, but that was a trial.
yeah, it was a test.
I
run.
saw an empty line, I
Just
just,
don't swear the next time.
okay, I would swear the next time. It wasn't a big one, it was
No.
just a little one.
A bleeper over
Yeah.
there.
You may want to
We're
get
just gonna have to be on
I'm
alert.
just gonna tell you that
Yeah.
now.
Never a dull moment.
That was it for the other
Okay,
the new business.
Okay. All right. So before, Michelle embarrasses us any further, is there a motion to adjourn?
I move to adjourn.
I second.
Is there any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
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 Okay, there's no opposition, of course.
Yeah.
All right. The motion is approved. All right, everyone.
Fixed rate on Saturday, 9 a.m.
We'll start.
Aye.
This conference is no longer being recorded.